and Kenny play tonight at Bowls. You know that?
I do. I am very excited about that matchup.
Playing at Bowls.
Yeah, it's
they're supposed to play at
House
Kenny,
of
but
Horrors.
they're supposed to play at Kenny. But the field was soggy, so they're playing at Bowls. I'm just here dropping information. What I do.
Oh, go Bulldogs.
So Ocala Forest play Ocala Vanguard. Is this the big showdown tonight or no?
That's usually the last week of the season, so I'm assuming no.
Okay. Listen, I'm asking the tough questions.
Who's Inglewood got?
I'm not for no idea. Okay, so I'm asking the tough questions, so there's that. Hey, we're glad you're with us on a Friday. Fridays are special around here because we have some special stuff coming up. Let me set the scene for you in just a bit. We're going to remember to do our picks today. I'm excited about that. That comes up at 4:20. At 5:20. Pete Prisco is going to join us at 5 o'clock, as he always does. We've got all kind of fun stuff coming up, and we're going to hear from Evan. Evan Ingram's a good dude. He likes you. I mean, those guys gotten to know you. He's a good dude, isn't he?
He really is. He was the Good Guy Award winner last year, so all the media really gets along great with Evan and vice versa. So pro's pro when it comes to, I mean, obviously when it comes to on the field as well, but certainly how he conducts himself. He's a fantastic Jaguar, and hopefully he'll be here a long time. But, yeah, it was fun catching up with him today and, and getting his thoughts on kind of where the team stands, where the offense stands, and he should have a lot of confidence. He had 11 catches for 95 yards and 2 touchdowns against the Browns last season. So, and it's the same defense. So, I would expect a big day for Evan Ingram.
A lot of thoughts about that game. Gators against A&M. Huge game for Billy Napier at home. How much does he play DJ Lagway? That's a big part of it. Huge game for the Noles at home against Memphis. Mike Norvell's old team. So many storylines of this weekend, and we'll get to all of it. But we're happy to tell you that every Friday we kick the show off by hearing from Doug Pederson, the head coach of the Jaguars. Does such a terrific job with that team, and he's been kind enough to join me every Friday on the program. Without further ado, JJ, fired up.
The coach speaks. Jaguars coach Doug Pederson joins Frank Frangie right now. Presented by Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors.
All right, time now to talk Jaguars football. We welcome in the coach, Doug Pederson, along with Frank Frangie here on a Friday afternoon. Doug, thanks for joining us. How you doing, man?
Doing well, Frank. Doing well. Thank you for having me.
Hey, home games are fun, man. The home games, it'll be the first one in a while. Can you sense the juice a little bit in the locker room? And it was a tough loss last week for all of us, but do you feel, can you sense that around you guys to get to play in front of the home crowd now?
Yeah, you can. It's always nice to get home, and especially for us to, our season opener really at home, and guys are feeling good. Obviously disappointed about last week, and the way we, the second half was just not who we are, and so we made an emphasis of that this week, and looking forward to the game this weekend.
Let's talk about health a little bit. Tyson Campbell obviously down for a little bit, and then the Savage thing just kind of crept up. So you're gonna have some young guys in the secondary. I'm guessing the fact that you played a lot of guys last week and throughout the preseason helps here. Buster Brown, I guess, starts. Tell us a little bit about your secondary moving forward here, Doug.
Yeah, there are some young players, but these young players have played a little bit in preseason, played last week, and it's unfortunate. Darnell Savage got a little injury there Thursday in practice, and so he's going to be out. Hopefully it's just a week, but Buster, Monteric Brown, he'll start at corner, and Jarian Jones, who obviously we're excited about, good young player. Will be at that nickel spot for Savage, and then Christian Braswell, somebody that we had a lot of high hopes for coming out of camp and did a nice job, in training camp, will be, elevated off our practice roster. So excited about that group. They're going against 2 really good receivers that the Browns have, and be fun to watch.
You played a lot of guys last week defensively. We had talked about that beforehand. I thought it worked. I mean, I think, well, maybe it's just because it's hot and it's Miami, but is that the way you think you're going to go moving forward here?
Yeah, I think especially in the D-line, you're going to see a lot more rotation. You're going to see, a lot more bodies out there. I think it's something that Ryan is used to. I was definitely used to that in Philly when Jim Schwartz was there. We rotated 8 guys all the time, and then you saw some of the young linebackers. Ventrell Miller was out there more. Yazir Abdullah was out there. Obviously Chad, Muma, stuff like that. So it's good to get these guys on the field, because what's going to happen is, 10 to 12 plays now, over the course of the season could be, 180 to 200 snaps at the end of the year, and that's just taking wear and tear off of some of your starters. All
right, let's talk a little bit about Cleveland. We'll start with offense. You mentioned those two receivers, Amari and Judy. Judy just got there, and you got Deshaun Watson. What have you seen when you've watched Deshaun with the Browns with those two receivers? What do you see? And obviously, he's a mobile guy, so he can create problems. What do you see when you see their offense, Doug?
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing is that, Deshaun is still Deshaun. I mean, he's still capable of beating you with his legs, still got a really good arm. And I do think he's still working through, some timing and being on the same page with these two receivers. It's, it's probably still a work in progress a little bit. I know he's missed some time there and just kind of getting himself back comfortable. But very dangerous, we know Jerry Jeudy, the type of speed and athleticism he has, and I was in Philly with Amari Cooper in Dallas, and he's a very capable veteran receiver who can, not only beat you in the short game but also get behind you, and so just understanding, I think, a little bit about where these two guys are going to line up in the formations, especially with some young guys in our secondary. Communication is going to have to be imperative, going into this game.
And defensively, of course, it all starts with Myles Garrett. But you mentioned Jim Schwartz a minute ago. He's good. You know what he does. They led the league in defense last year. Same defense that you saw last year. What do you expect from the Browns here?
Yeah, same defensive structure. Obviously, they've added some piece. I think Rodney McLeod was hurt last year when we played him. He should be in the mix this year. Jordan Hicks, who we had in Philadelphia, in the middle linebacker spot, and just a downhill aggressive style of defense. And that's the Jim Schwartz. That's what he preaches and that's what he teaches. But you're absolutely right. It all starts with Myles Garrett and we anticipate him being on the offense's left, but he from time to time can line up over the center or maybe line up over your right tackle. So you got to be aware of where he's at as well. As you look at a few trends in the league, Doug, number one's the kickoff. I didn't ask you about this last week, but I got thinking about it. Everyone's kicking it out of the end zone. Did you expect that? I know none of us really knew what to expect, but are you surprised that almost everybody's playing it that way? I guess that's the way to play it now. Let them start at the 30, right? I think what's happening are these guys these returners are getting better and better, and so it's just a matter of not kicking it to them. I mean, the starting field position's been around the 30-yard line, the last couple of weeks anyway, and it's something that it's still, I think it's a valuable piece if you can return the ball, but I think it can also be a dangerous piece because the blocking units are a lot closer than what they used to in the past, and it still becomes a dangerous but yet exciting football play if put in play.
Final thing or two, your players, I know they're fired up. I know Travis Etienne said after the game last week. He feels awful and he can't wait to play again. Tank Bigsby played well. How is Travis? How are those? Trevor, I thought, played okay most of the game. How are you guys? What's the mindset in your locker room right now, Doug?
Yeah, the guys are good. They are anxious to get back out on the field. I think they're excited to just erase a bad feeling last week. And Travis is the type of person that's gonna. You just don't see that from him. I think the last time I saw him do that was, our first year together against the Giants. If you remember, he fumbled in the red zone that one time, but yet he came back and had a good year. So looking forward to him bouncing back. Tank the same way, getting these guys back on the field. But I think as a team, seeing how we come out.
Doug, final thing. You played in this league. You played quarterback. You've coached quarterbacks. You coach now a whole group of players. When you saw what happened last night with Tua, we all watched it, and we certainly don't have the prism you do. What did you think? How did it hit you? What's the effect on a coach and a player when you see what happens like that?
Yeah, I tell you what, I know it's something that the league is trying to, get out of our league and take out and try to keep the health and safety of our players, first and foremost. And, when you see it, especially with a player that's had this in his history and his past, it's unfortunate, and nobody ever wants to see it. And obviously our thoughts and prayers are with Tua and his health and getting him back, healthy again. But at the same time, we still have to play football, right? And we understand the risks that are involved, and we do everything we can to protect our players as coaches, as a medical staff, as medical team, and it's unfortunate. And again, my thoughts and prayers are with Tua, and hopefully he has a good, healthy recovery. Here shortly in the next few weeks, if not months.
Yeah, I feel the same way, Doug, and very well said. Doug Pederson, head Jaguar coach. The Jags and the Browns get together on Sunday. Doug, thanks for spending some time, man. We appreciate it. See you on Sunday.
Yeah, you bet, Frank. Thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Okay, Doug Pederson, Jags and Browns coming up on Sunday. Always good to catch up with the coach. He's got great perspective, and I really did want to ask him about how he saw the Tua thing. We watch it as people that have covered the game and called games, Hays, but I can imagine if you've played and you've coached quarterbacks and now you coach all these players, it's got to jar you. It's got to jar those guys watching the immediate impact, the fencing that happened right afterwards.
It was an incredibly disturbing scene to see Tua's fingers all flexed and things like that, particularly knowing his history from just a couple of years ago. I obviously Doug Pederson, that's why he is a successful coach. He sees it from every perspective. He played the game. He played, and I think the fact that he was a backup, for a lot of his career leads to interesting perspectives on coaching and in the right way to handle things. And I think he's applied it, and obviously to great success. He's won a Super Bowl and gotten this team to a playoff win in the past. So, I think it's another example of you couldn't have more expertise on this league than Doug Pederson has, and he's a good guy. So I mean, it's hopefully they never have to go through this with That's Trevor. Right. But certainly from a head coaching perspective, you'd be in the right hands if you had to.
Now, a lot to do on a Friday. Glad you're with us. Big Chief Tire sponsors all our Fridays. We sure appreciate our friends at Big Chief. 5 locations in town. The newest one's Orange Park. They're on the north side, 2 on the west side, and the south side as well. A lot to do. Let's stay on the Jaguars. Let's hear from the tight end, Evan Ingram, after this timeout. We'll just get going here. It's 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Together, one play at a time.
It's the moment the game changed.
Up in the air, it is caught!
Listen for the performance painting high-performance play of the game.
Are you kidding me?
On 1010XL. Performance painting. Prepare, protect, preserve.
The Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Here's Linda Beaver.
Hey everyone, it's football season and we wanted to go to the drawing board to make this year's predictions. Let's compare our 2 blonde all-stars. Most touchdowns, best pricing in the market. Most passing yards, gives the most for your trade. Most receptions, free oil changes with every purchase. Super Bowl champion, wow customer service. This looks like a winning season for everyone. Come see Beaver Toyota in St. Augustine or Beaver Chevrolet in Jacksonville, where you can score big all season long.
Jimerson Burr is a full-service, Florida-based commercial law firm that has experience and capabilities to handle any legal issue a business is confronted with. Learn more about what they can do for you at jimersonfirm.com.
Get this thing unwrapped here.
Praz, what in the world are you doing working on your Duval?
That's right, man. I really identify with Duval.
You live in St. Johns County, knucklehead.
I mean the Duval sub, the Dailies Dash Duval. Turkey, ham, melted cheddar, and habanero jack cheeses. Lettuce, tomato, crispy and fresh, like me. I'm sure there's a Dailies Dash sub that sums you up.
The boss.
Because, of course,
oven roasted beef, Munster cheese, roasted mushrooms, caramelized onions. It's the boss of all subs. Only available for me.
That's just not true.
What do you mean? I walked in the other day, screamed, "You know it!" and said, "A boss for a boss."
Well, no matter who you are, there is a Dailies Dash sandwich or sub for you.
Go find yours. They may even make you a boss.
I'm sure they will, because it is Dailies Dash.
Where more is better.
And you got that right.
Former Jaguars corner and first-year head football coach at Duval Charter School at Bay Meadows, K-12, Aaron Beasley here. Are you looking for an A-rated K-12 school prioritizing academics, arts, and athletics? Duval Charter School at Bay Meadows offers a rigorous curriculum to develop strong minds with an additional focus on growing good hearts. DCSB has been an A school for 8 years, and our tuition is free. Now enrolling. Apply at baymeadowscharter.org.
Attention sports fans, are you ready to take your game to the next level? Look no further than Best Bet. You can bet anywhere, but you'll definitely win here. Experience the thrill of sports like never before. With all the major games broadcasting live on our big screens and a menu stacked with your favorite foods and refreshing drinks, you're sure to find your winning ticket. Visit bestbetjacks.com to learn more. That's bestbetjacks.com. Bet anywhere, win here. Only at Best Bet.
Dan Hicken and Jeff Prosser share the huddle with Freddie T.
Bring it in!
Monday morning running back with Fred Taylor is fueled by Epstein and Robbins and Monahan Jewelers.
Fred Taylor, he's a candidate to go the distance.
On 1010XL.
Hello there. Brendan from Play It Again Sports here to congratulate all the parents for surviving another summer. The kiddos are back to school, and you know what that means? Sports are back. But don't fret. Play It Again Sports has the gear you need at prices worthy of excessive celebration. From sluggers and shooters to clappers and benders, Play It Again Sports can turn your kids into goats. Stop in today on Merrill Road near 295 or online at playitagainjacks.com.
Have you tried golfing at the improved Cimarron Golf Club? If you haven't, tell you what, you're missing out on the best deal in Jacksonville. Now, many of you have received a postcard in the mail, and of course, if you bring that with you, $45 plus tax to play. That includes a cart, lunch, and a beer at the brand new Stone Barrel Tap House. Now, go to the website, that is CimarronGolfClub.com, and sign up for the Wild One Loyalty Program. That's the Wild One Loyalty Program, and get all of these specials emailed to you from Cimarron.
Don't make a bad call when it comes to servicing your home. Cooling off with a baby pool in the house to fix your air conditioning problem is a bad call. Trying to catch a wave in a flooded bathroom is a bad call. Using a burning electrical panel to make s'mores is a bad call. The next time something goes wrong, make a good call to Donovan.
Whether you need air, electric, or plumbing service, Donovan is always a good call. It's why we've been trusted by our customers for almost 40 years and why you can trust us to deliver fast, reliable service to your home. Donovan, always a good call.
Visit DonovanAC.com today.
If you are an experienced electrician looking for your next big opportunity, look no further than the Miller Electric Company, a trusted name in the industry for over 96 years. At Miller Electric, we tackle the biggest projects in the city, offering you the chance to showcase your skills on a grand scale. We believe in rewarding hard work with the best pay, top-notch benefits, and an unbeatable culture where people actually care about each other. Take your career to new heights with Miller Electric Company. Apply today at millercareers.com. Miller Electric, an equal opportunity employer.
Mark Watson with Hardball Creative. I know that hearing another ad for Jacksonville's best promo company interrupts Jacksonville's best sports talk, but at least it isn't a political ad. Check us out at hardballcreative.com.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all. 1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Now back to a Big Chief Tire Friday on The Frangie Show. Big Chief Tire. Visit BigChiefService.com.
Frangie and Carlyon, LaSelva with you on a Friday, brought to you by Big Chief Tire. Thanks again to the coach, Doug Pederson, for joining me every Friday as we kick off the program. Staying on the Jaguars for a second, I'm really glad Evan Ingram's the captain. I think he earned that. He's the first guy on the field. He works hard. He's the same every day, isn't he? He's the whether you're interviewing him, whether he's playing, he's the same every day, and consistency matters in any big business, but certainly in the sports business.
And that's been such a great signing. I mean, Evan left New York, and there had been, some good times there, but kind of a feeling of unrealized potential is a former first-round pick. And, he's been a fantastic Jaguar. I mean, he caught 114 passes last year and makes a Pro Bowl, and great leader for that room and for the offense in general. And look, it's interesting. Tight ends in general have gotten off to a slow start so far. That's been kind of an early storyline, is that you just haven't seen big numbers from anybody. And Evan didn't have a big game against Miami. But I do think in Evan's case, that will change, and Sunday is a great candidate for that because last year, again, 11 catches for 95 yards and 2 touchdowns against Cleveland on just 12 targets. That's incredible efficiency. Yeah. I mean, the fact that on the road last year, Trevor Lawrence targeted Evan Ingram 12 times and connected with him 11. So, there is some carryover to that. Now, they didn't have Christian Kirk in that game. They'll have him in this game. So certain things, are changed, but it is the same defense as you mentioned with your interview with Doug Pederson. Jim Schwartz is still the Cleveland coordinator. So I would think certainly the opportunity will be there for Evan Ingram to have a big game Sunday.
Evan Ingram, the Jaguar tight end, a terrific receiving tight end, the subject of this Hays Carlyon one-on-one.
We are pleased to be joined with Jaguars tight end Evan Ingram here on 1010XL 92.5 FM. Man, it's great to see you. How you doing?
Doing well. Great to see you, too.
Everything going your way?
Yes, sir. We're great week of prep. Ready to go play on Sunday.
What stood out to you this week, Evan, about how the team responded?
I think every day was sharp this week. Obviously, there's going to be mistakes here and there, but the way guys responded every day, the way we came out in practice, attention to detail, I thought the coaches put together a really good game plan for us to go execute. So everybody responded really well this week, but we got to go make it count on Sunday. I think everybody has that mindset as well.
Does the Cleveland defense, their scheme, does it fit your eye? Because last year in Cleveland, you had a sensational game, 12 catches on 13 targets, just a monster game. How do you kind of see the Cleveland defense? Obviously, they're very talented, but does that give you confidence going into this matchup?
For sure, definitely. Anytime you can have success against a great defense like that, you kind of feel like it can be repeated, but at the end of the day, they're going to have a plan. They have a great defense. They have great players at every single level, and we have great players too. We were dealing with some injuries in our skill group last year, so there'll be more great players out there to spread the ball around, and I'm definitely just looking forward to executing the role that I have in the game plan. So it's going to be a challenge. It's going to be tough, but playing against good defense like that definitely excites me and brings the best out of me and the rest of the guys as well.
Yeah, that's a great point because Christian wasn't active for the Cleveland game, but obviously you'll have him now. So how is that group coming around? Because it does seem like Brian's picked it up pretty quick and Gabe's doing a good job. So you happy with the collective?
Yeah, I mean, you got great players on the field and healthy. Defenses have to account for all of it. You try to take one guy out, the other guy, makes a big play. You give everybody equal shot, a one-on-one, and then that's when you try to let your best players go win. So, they have a great defense. We have, I think we have the potential to be a really good offense too with everybody healthy. So that definitely excites us. Definitely excited, go respond after last weekend, and try to put up a great offensive performance, help our defense, and put together a good team win.
They obviously have such an incredible rush, led by Myles Garrett. Is there an importance in being able to complete passes quickly, maybe more short, quick game?
Yeah, definitely. You want to be a pretty nice security blanket for Trevor this week with their pass rush and the different pressures they send. As a tight end, you definitely always want to be the quarterback's best friend, but weeks like this, you definitely want to be available underneath. Allow him to get the ball out. Allow him not to take that many hits, and just kind of be reliable when things hit the fan. So that's the thing that's the challenge that their defense presents. They're gonna send pressure. They got one of the best players in the league, and Miles. So we definitely have to be on our P's and Q's underneath and make the big plays when we get the opportunity.
What are you seeing from some of the younger guys in your room, Brenton, Luke, guys like that?
It's very impressive how far Brenton has come just in 1 year, how he's worked this offseason. The role for him is increasing. He's a great blocker, and he's becoming a great receiver as well. And Luke, this is year 4 for him, and his growth has been awesome too. He's obviously been our bell cow in the running game, but he has potential to get downfield and make some plays too. So those guys have been awesome to work with, and to see their growth has been amazing. And I do a lot of work, and I take pride in having a big role in the offense. But those guys are becoming a big part of our offense as well. And I love our room. I love the package that we bring on the field, and going to continue to push those guys, and they're going to continue to push me as well.
You've been in the league league a long time. It's an 0-1 start. Is there a sense of urgency to avoid 0-2, or there's so many games left? It's like, look, let's just focus on what we do well and what maybe we can take advantage of with them.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't say we're thinking about avoiding a situation. I think we're more focused and locked in on just winning this next game. We understand the ups and downs of a season. We understand there's going to be adversity. We're going to get punched in the mouth, whether now or later. We just got to attack that with a clear mind and great intention. So I think this week has been really good to see just our intention of responding, not really worrying about what's ahead, obviously flushing what's in the past, just taking advantage of the opportunity that we're going to get on Sunday to respond. I think that's a good thing about this team is our mindset with that.
You've got such a great connection with this fan base. How much are you looking forward to having the home opener and being out there in front of your fans?
I can't wait to see some of the 17 jerseys in the stands. It's been cool over the last couple of years. I've been seeing more and more and more. And this preseason, I saw a good bit, and so I know they're going to be in there jumping for us and getting us, bringing that energy for us to perform. So we definitely owe them a great season. A lot of work that we put in here is for them, and we're just looking to put a win, the first home opener for the fans for sure.
Awesome stuff. Well, Evan, certainly best of luck to you, and really appreciate your time today.
Definitely, thank you too.
Evan loves seeing those 17 jerseys in the stadium, so wear them if you got them. And I think he's going to have a great game on Sunday. He'll have another great year. I mean, he's just 30. Tight ends play a long time. Look at Kelsey. Kelsey's still doing a really high level, and I think he's 35.
Yeah.
So Evan Ingram, he could still be in the first half of his Jaguars career. And we know he does such a great job taking care of his body, and and it was cool hearing him talk about the younger tight ends as well. You can tell that's an important thing for Evan is for that whole room to be productive, not just him, and that's a cool thing.
Important game for the Jags. They Evan Ingram, just the way the game played out. Christian Kirk, Evan Ingram, not a lot of targets last week, not a lot of catches, one catch each. I think you'll see more of that from them, I would imagine, this week. As I said to Doug when I had him on a moment ago. I want to see Travis Etienne get a chance to redeem himself. That doesn't happen, like Doug said. It doesn't happen to him very often. Big game, first time the fans have seen this team. They're only 0-1, but if you connect it to last year, they haven't won much lately, and so this will be a good feeling for them. They've got a good team. It's a good group. I'm telling you, it's a good football team, man. And but they need a win. When you get a win, it feels different. When you get a win, it reaffirms all the work. They've had a great camp. They've had a great preseason. I believe that. But you need the win to affirm that, right? So I think it's a big game Sunday. It's a big game with the Bills and the Texans both on the road lurking. Two very good football teams.
Bills looked really good.
Boy, they really did, didn't they? They have a good team, man, and they have a good team. So we're. This is a very important game for the Jags. So Jags and Browns, we'll talk more about it when we get to picks. We'll talk more about it in the second hour of the program. We take a break. When we come back, let's talk about the college weekend. Florida State at home against Memphis. Florida at home against Texas A&M. What to expect. That's next. Stay with us.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
It's football all day on Pregame Friday.
Little pigskin, why not?
Get the news, notes, and inside stuff you need to get ready for game day.
It's fantastic.
Pregame Friday
Is brought to you by Dream Finders Homes and MyBookie on 1010XL.
Hey, sports fans, it's Hays Carlyon from MyBookie. Embrace the start of football season with MyBookie. Take advantage of their live betting, especially if a heavy favorite gets off to a slow start. And be sure to check out their cool prop bets on every sport out there. If you haven't signed up, go to mybookie.ag and register for a free account. Use promo code 1010XL to get a double bonus. For a limited time, MyBookie will double your money on your first deposit. Let's take a look at some updated MyBookie lines. The Jaguars are a 3-point favorite over the visiting Browns. The over-under there is 41.5 points. The Gators are a 3.5-point underdog to Texas A&M in the Swamp. The Noles, a 6.5-point favorite at home over Memphis. Sign up with that promo code 1010XL to claim your deposit bonus. Again, it is a double bonus. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie, and don't forget that promo code 1010XL.
Frank Frangie here. It's truck season at Nimnick Chevrolet. Chevy trucks have what you need to get things done, like a brand new Silverado 1500. This month, save up to $10,000 off a new Silverado. For well-qualified buyers, you get rates as low as 1.9% financing, no payments for 90 days on all 2024 Silverado pickup trucks. Shop online 24/7 at nimnickchevy.com. So who's got more new Silverados at the best prices? Nobody but Nimnick. Chevrolet, together let's drive.
This is Hays Carlyon from my friend Holt at Harrell & Harrell. There doesn't seem to be enough time in the day to get everything done. Then you get injured in an accident and you don't know what you're going to do. Let Harrell & Harrell make it easy for you. Easy on becoming a client. You can just text or email if you want. Easy on finding a doctor and getting through the process. Hopefully you won't need them, but if you're ever injured, call Harrell & Harrell and make it easy on yourself. Call them at 904-251-1111. That's 251-1111.
It's storm season, and JEA is committed to keeping you informed. In the event of a storm, we'll text and email you about the status of your services. We use Facebook and X to post real-time updates. Our live outage map on JEA.com lets you track restoration progress. And as crews work to restore services, our storm outreach team will be in local neighborhoods to answer your questions. Because as your community utility, JEA is here to keep you safe and connected. Your community, your utility.
Right now, they're on their way to ruin your day. Don't bother calling the police. They can't help. And if you're not prepared, you will suffer. Yes, it's that time of the year. Heat and humidity are attacking North Florida. But help is at hand. Call Mike Merritt's Heating and Air Conditioning. Mike Merritt has a license to chill and lets you maintain your comfort zone at a bargain price. How? Mike Merritt stands ready to help, routine or emergencies. And Mike Merritt knows emergencies can happen at any time. So with Mike, there's never any overtime charges. And Mike's team works without commissions. Merritt will never try to sell you parts you don't need. You can't trust just anyone with a truck. Call Mike Merritt, the company North Florida has trusted for 35 years. Call today. License number CAC 050384.
Pregame Friday
is brought to you by MyBookie
and Dream Finders Homes on 1010XL.
I'm here with Danny Van Sickle, Director of the Electrical Training Alliance. Danny, tell me about your program.
Hey, Rick, we're a 5-year electrical apprenticeship. Our students start out making over $40,000 a year, and right now graduate making over $90,000 a year, including benefits. There is no tuition or no student debt. You just have to apply and get accepted.
Did you say no tuition and no student debt?
You heard that right, Rick. Once you're accepted to the program, your only cost for the books and the course fees. About $800 a year.
That sounds like an amazing opportunity. How can I learn more?
Just go to etajax.org, and you can apply there.
Apply by November 7th.
Big Sur's here. My cigars are back in stock at Island Girl Gate Parkway. Buy a box and I will autograph it for you. Island Girl Gate Parkway is the place to enjoy a great cigar selection, a full bar, enjoy a daily happy hour from noon to 7 and all day Sunday. Enjoy college and NFL games from noon to 6. When you buy 5 cigars, you get 1 free. Plus, live music Friday and Saturday nights. For upcoming events, follow Island Girl Gate Parkway on Instagram and Facebook at islandgirl.gateparkway.
Get the latest on the Gators from one of the greatest Gators.
Touchdown, Gators!
Chris Doring joins Dan and Jeff on the Drill Tuesday morning on 1010XL.
Go Gators!
Brought to you by the personal injury attorneys of Farah and Farah.
The coolers are full at your local Gate gas station, making it easy for you to cruise in and cruise out with little downtime. Ice cold Coronas, Natty Light, Stella Artois, and Michelob Ultra. Don't forget the king of beers, Cold Buds. Gate's got them in the cooler, waiting for you.
Yo, this is Tony from Tony D's. Are you looking for a great slice of pizza? Well, we have about 12 varieties. Most places won't have slices of pizza after lunch. At Tony D's, you can get a slice all day. It's always fresh at Tony D's Pizza. Bay Meadows and 295.
Introducing Gatorade Water. Alkaline and electrolyte infused for great taste. Gatorade Water, always in motion.
Find it at your local Winn-Dixie. For the athletes who give everything, nothing beats Gatorade, the studied, tested, and proven fuel of the world's greatest athletes. Gatorade Water, proudly supporting high school sports on the First Coast.
Time Time now for a medical recap. A health and wellness tip from Jaguars head team physician, Dr. Kevin Kaplan.
Regular movement is key to so many health benefits. Aim for at least 10,000 steps a day. Decide to only take the stairs if you're walking less than 6th floor. Never park in the first 10 spaces of the parking lot. Walk during your work breaks. Get up 10 minutes earlier in the morning and take a short, brisk walk before the chaos of the day starts. There are so many easy ways to stay active. Let's get moving, Jacksonville.
This is Dr. James Perry, Assistant Team Physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jaguars, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
The Jaguars welcome the Cleveland Browns on Sunday for the home opener at Trevor Banks Stadium with kickoff at 1 o'clock. Fans, remember, you can stock up on Jaguars merchandise at the Miller Electric Center Pro Shop on Thursdays and Fridays before home games from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. The Pro Shop will open on game day at 9 a.m. Our game day coverage of Jaguars Browns begins Sunday morning at 8 with the Terminix Kickoff Show with Mia O'Brien and Hays Carlyon live from Tailgaters Parking. Jaguars Browns in the home opener. Kickoff Sunday at 1 o'clock. I'm Andrew Gibson with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars update.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Now back to a Big Chief Tire Friday on The Frangie Show. Big Chief Tire. Visit BigChiefService.com.
Noles and Memphis Tigers in a huge game for Florida State. Here's why that game's so big, too. They haven't gotten where Florida is, where everybody's doubting. Much of the fan base is beyond Billy Napier now. Fair or not, that's just where the fan base is. In Tallahassee, nobody's beyond Norvell. I think people are convinced now that he's a good coach. Right? He's a good coach. I don't think there's any doubt that he's a pretty good football coach. But everybody's doubting the plan because the plan has been be portal heavy. And even though Norvell said we have to establish ourselves as in the high school space, it hasn't played out that way. And now there's talk. I've talked to someone that's pretty close to the Florida State world, not nearly as close as Rick Ballou and Tom Block and others that are really connected. But there's a belief that what's really hurting them now, Hays, is that they have a lot of players who aren't committed to Florida State. And that's okay, but if you just get there, are you grounding? Jordan Travis started his career at Louisville. He transferred to Florida State. He wasn't a Nole. He became one after being a Louisville Cardinal. But man, he was committed to the Noles. He's his Nole. I mean, he loved Florida State. I mean, everybody you talk to would tell you how much Jordan Travis freaking loved Florida State. I don't know if a bunch of the other guys do. I don't know. Does DJ Uiagalelei love Florida State? He's probably glad he's there now. It's his third school. This is a kid raised in Los Angeles. Okay, let me tell you his journey. Los Angeles, 3,000 miles to Clemson, 3,000 more miles to Oregon State, 4,000 miles back to Tallahassee. I mean, just the frequent flyer miles he's got in his journey. But
he hasn't even been there long enough to love a girl.
So
definitely not a school. I'm like 6 months.
Right.
It's just no.
Well said. Very well. I wish I'd said that, to tell you the truth. Well done. But all the players, it's part of when you're losing, are you committed to the cause? Are you really committed to the cause? Or are you just trying to make your NIL money get to the league? And look, that's everywhere now. I'm not indicting FSU. But people on the inside believe that's a thing.
I think it is a thing because I think one of the things that made them so successful last year was that tight bond and that brotherhood. And the exhibit for me was last year, Jordan Travis and Jared Verse had this ritual where they would sort of like wrestle in the end zone.
Yeah.
And then Jordan Travis got hurt. And the next week in practice, Jared Verse went to that spot in the end zone and kind of simulated wrestling with him, just as a sign of, how much he loves him as a teammate. And I think there was something really special that they fell into with Jordan Travis in terms of he had been there a few years. So he had developed that real pride for his school. And I think Jared Verse coming maybe from Albany and Fisk coming in from Western Michigan, I think it was easier maybe for them to buy into it because you had Jordan Travis, but you also had such a different level of football and commitment to football and adoration from the fans and appreciation for their hard work that it was probably easier to buy in than it would be for kids transferring in from Alabama or for Georgia where, this was all, I came from a place where football was the most important thing on campus, and now I'm at a place where football is the most important thing on campus, so that doesn't really resonate with me. And, look, if you're a great player, you're thinking, I've got 3 years of college, and then I'm going to the NFL. So if you've already spent a year somewhere else, and you view yourself as most of these kids do as, a 3 and done NFL prospect, then you're probably looking at it from the standpoint of, well, I've only got 1 year here. I think with Uyunglele, I think he wants to have that. I think he approached it the right way from everything I saw from a distance.
I agree with that.
But I would wonder, does Richie Leonard feel that way? Who went from Florida to Florida State.
Marvin Jones Jr. from Georgia.
Right. The Alabama kids that came in, because I think they had multiple Alabama transfers come in. So I do think it's something that you have to be cognizant of. It's certainly something that you have to be cognizant of in the NFL. I mean, the Jaguars have had players in the past say, I signed just for the year vacation. And, and this was 15 years ago or whatever. But you certainly have to worry about in free agency, guys coming here and not really being in it for the right reasons. And I don't know if that's what FSU's experiencing. It certainly seems like they've got a heart problem with this team so far. I think they've lost to 2 mediocre teams. We'll see what Boston College can do against Missouri, but they're a 16.5-point underdog.
Right.
So Vegas isn't expecting much, and I certainly don't think Missouri is I know they're ranked elite. I don't think they're elite. We'll see. And Georgia Tech lost to Syracuse. So I think it's more of a ticker issue with Florida State, and that's where you have to ask, is there a level of pride in your school that is holding them back in terms of fighting for every inch on the gridiron like you have to do if you're going to win on a consistent level?
Meanwhile, Florida's got a lot of players that signed with Florida. I'm just not sure how good the players are. Texas A&M comes in there. Texas A&M's 1-1. Did not look very good against Notre Dame, although that was a physical battle. And my thought when the game was over is A&M might be pretty good. They just faced the number 7 team in the country. Well, then Notre Dame goes and loses at home to Northern Illinois. Now, look, upsets can happen, but they didn't look very good in that game. Makes me wonder how good A&M is. A&M won easily against McNeese. Here's the thing, if you're A&M. Of your next 7 games, 2 of them are against Bowling Green and New Mexico State. 1 is a home game against Arkansas. You've got to play LSU, but that's a home game. Your road games are Mississippi State and South Carolina. So you can get on, if you're good, you can get on a run here. If not, though, you start 1-2 under a first-year coach, it's going to be hard to gain some traction. We'll do our picks later. I won't get into who I think is going to win or lose. But I think this is a tough challenge for Florida, and I do think all the noise circulating will affect the game. I said this on Monday. I'll stand by this 4 days later. DJ Lagway should be the quarterback of record in this game. I don't like playing both of them. I think quarterbacks need – I know it's worked from time to time here and there. I know the thing Spurrier did worked when he had Noah Brandeis and Jesse Palmer alternating because neither one of those were great players. Doug Johnson was really not in that rotation because he had a little bigger arm and whatnot. So I think quarterbacks are like starting pitchers. You have to find a rhythm. You have to find the strike zone. You have to find your arm slot. You have to see what you've got that day. Do you have the good slider that day? Maybe it didn't show up, so you got to throw fastballs and changeups. I think starting quarterbacks are like that. I can't imagine you get out there, you get the rhythm of the game, you get the sweat going. You understand, is your left tackle going to be able to block their right end? And you get the feel of it. And then you sit down for a series or two, and you get out of that rhythm.
It's a brand new game.
It is, and so I don't like the alternating. I really don't. And again, you know what a big fan I am of Graham Mertz. I've said that from day one. But You know what you've got in Graham Mertz. I think DJ Lagway could elevate you. And by the way, there's going to be some moments tomorrow that whichever quarterback's in, Graham Mertz would execute those moments better than DJ Lagway would because he's played more. But Lagway clearly has stuff that Mertz doesn't have. And he should be the quarterback of record. He's not going to be. So a team that I already – remember, they're a 4-point home underdog, which means most people feel like they're a touchdown – that A&M's a touchdown better than them. So you need everything you can to win the game. I don't think playing both quarterbacks is a very good idea. I don't think not starting Lagway, and I'm pretty sure Mertz is going to start the game. He hasn't said that, but it certainly looks like that's where we're headed. I think, look, if they get rolled in this game, I said I don't think Billy Napier's going to make it to November, and I didn't say that till after the Miami game. They get rolled in this game, he might not make it to Mississippi State.
He may not make it to Sunday Night Football.
Yeah, and that's
Sunday Night Football.
Yeah, and I think he. My guess is he's probably going to make it to the bye week, no matter what. But they get 41-13 put on them tomorrow.
Yep.
I don't know that he does, because you talk about deafening noise. If you lose a home game to an unranked team with a new coach who lost by 10 to the same team that just lost to Northern Illinois, I think if you get one put on you, it's going to be deafening. I'm not going to tell you he's fired on Sunday, but I think it will be louder than loud if A&M beats them soundly.
Well, it's interesting. I liked how you phrased it earlier because it almost feels like the verdict is already in on Napier, and it isn't. Because he could get, what if Florida beats Texas A&M tomorrow? And then what if they go to Starkville and beat Mississippi State and then come back to the Swamp and beat UCF? I'm not saying that's going to happen.
But if it does.
But it's not out of the realm of possibility. And now all of a sudden you're talking about a 4-1 team. And it's like now the conversation is, well, is he going to survive?
Yeah.
But it doesn't feel that way at all. I mean, it feels like he's whether he's a bad coach, he's a poor coach at Florida. It's for whatever reason, it just hasn't worked, and that's what it feels like to me. Is that that's where it's headed? I mean, you hit the nail on the head. How can Florida be a 4-point home favorite to a team
home underdog? Yeah,
or home underdog. Thank you. With a new coach at a program that perennially is a disappointment, an underachiever, that lost at home to a Notre Dame team that just got upset by Northern Illinois, and you're an underdog to this team? It tells you all you need to know about where the Florida program is.
And I can tell you this. I told you this before the show. When the Gators were playing Sanford, we were at one of our normal steak dinners with the Jags. So I had my phone. I was rude guy at the table watching some of it on the phone. But it was on the phone. I was kind of half watching, half not. Got home and got back to the hotel middle of the third quarter and watched the rest of it. And just haven't been inspired to go back and watch. But last night, there was no Pirates baseball. A kickoff of the Monday night game wasn't until after 8. So, we had the early show. So I was hanging. So I watched the first half of the Florida-Stanford game a little bit. It was first half and into the third. I was astounded at watching Florida against Stanford. Stanford is a bad FCS team. They're not just an FCS team. They're just not having they're a good program, but a bad team. They lost to West Georgia. Hays, I was surprised at how slow Florida looked. Miami made them look slow, but that was because I thought that was because it was Miami. Miami made them look not physical because it was Miami. It's 7-0 mid-second quarter. Now, part of that's because they fumbled near the goal line. It's 14-0 late in the half, or at the half, I think.
Yeah.
But I'm watching the Crittenden, or whatever the quarterback for Stanford, the time he had.
Right.
The spinning away from players.
Yeah, 3rd and 8, he runs for 9.
Correct. Back in the day when Charleston Southern would come in there, one-step drop and Javon Curse was crushing the guy, or Kevin Carter's crushing the guy, or Sharif Floyd is crushing the guy. You couldn't get out of your own way. And then it's 55-0 middle of the third, and everybody's benched. And the backups are playing. And that's still the way it is when Georgia plays one of these teams. It's changed a little bit because there's more good players at other teams than there ever were. I know that. But I was surprised that Florida, until Sanford ran out of gas, which is probably early third, did not look like a team in a different division. It didn't.
Yeah.
It looked like Florida wasn't fast. Florida wasn't more physical than Samford. It was 7-0,
right,
middle of the second quarter. It was 14-0 at the half.
Right. And
it stood out for me.
And to your point about rotating quarterbacks is not a good idea in terms of a long-term plan. Yes, it worked for Spurrier in one game.
Yeah.
Yes, it worked for Urban Meyer with Leak and Tebow for a season, but people forget Tebow was not asked to do much. He didn't get
it was almost
series.
It was like a wildcat.
It was like a play. Tebow threw 33 passes that year at Florida.
Great point.
And when you think about it in a 14-game season, so Tim Tebow averaged about a little over 2 passes a game that season, and that team routed a lot of teams.
Yeah, he was a
so he
wildcat
was
quarterback.
in for a lot of garbage time. Yeah, he came in for certain plays, and it was critical. I mean, his contributions, they don't win the national title without Tim Tebow as a true freshman. So I'm not dismissing it, but my point is it wasn't a rotation. It was Chris Leak's offense.
Right.
And Tebow came in certain spots. But, I think with this, it should just be it's DJ Lagway's offense. You thank Graham Mertz, and if something happens with Lagway, yeah, maybe Lagway won't see the blitz coming. But you know what could happen? He makes the guy that has the clean shot at him miss and then throws a 50-yard bomb.
Correct.
Graham Mertz has no chance. Graham Mertz is basically a statue back there. Yeah. And, yes, he might be able to diagnose where the blitz is coming from. But if he can't throw the ball more than 35 yards accurately down the field, what do you have anyway?
Well,
it's Gardner Minshew versus Jaden Daniels. Why would you play Gardner Minshew if you have Jaden Daniels potential?
And I like the Gardner Minshew comparison because Gardner Minshew's a good player.
Yes.
He's in the NFL. He's a starting quarterback in the NFL. I don't know that Graham Mertz will ever be that, but he's a good player. Graham Mertz is a good player, just like Gardner Minshew is a good player. That's the comparison you just made is perfect. They're both good players. They could be coaches one day, smart, accurate, heady, and that guy's earned his right to play. Unless you might have something spectacular on the bench, ready to play. That's the point. And again, I think if you could just go, if you could game manage your way to 10 wins, then maybe you do play him. Again, I like Mertz. I'm a Mertz fan, man. But you don't have that. The team is just, the offensive line's not very good. Other than Trey Wilson, who might not play, you don't have great receivers. You got some young guys who run real fast who haven't played. You got some veteran guys who've played all over but don't run real fast. I think Montrell Johnson's okay. I think 13's their best back, by the way. But once he fumbled, they weren't going to play him the other day. I think
Ball.
I think he's their best player, best running back. So you don't have a great team. And so you might need a guy to elevate you above the X's and O's, as you like to say, Hays. And that's why I think it's critical to play him. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. Texas A&M and Florida, they get together tomorrow in the swamp. Let's get it back to the NFL. Pete Prisco joins us after this, so stay with us.
The Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Now you can watch 1010XL shows all day on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Brought to you by MyBookie. Experience Vegas from the comfort of your phone anytime, anywhere. Sign up today. Use promo code 1010XL. If you like to wake up to Teal Talk on game day, we have your favorite caller. Beautiful. On the Terminix Kickoff Show. Live from Tailgaters Parking.
I love it.
Brought to you by Gatorade and Clearwater Irrigation on 1010XL.
Did you know you can charge the all-new Honda Electric Prologue in the same receptacle as your phone? You don't need these special charging stations at your home. Simply plug in your Honda or your phone. See your local Honda dealer now. We're electrified.
When you're shopping for insurance, you might say,
"What? Huh?" I'm so over this.
But what you really need to say is something that could actually help.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
When you get a local State Farm agent, they can help make it easy and help you choose the coverage you need. Plus, they're available online, over the phone, or even in person.
I'm so into this.
Call State Farm agent Craig Dewhurst in St. Augustine at 940-9740.
When you're a little kid on the playground, they tell you don't hit back. Well, the courtroom isn't a playground. And if you've suffered an injury or death in your family, I'm here to tell you it's okay to hit back and fight to make them pay. I'm attorney Brett Hastings, and at Hastings Injury Law, we understand all the pain and emotion that comes with being wrong. And we've dedicated our lives to making things right for people like you. So if you get hit back with Hastings Injury Law. Offices, Jacksonville.
Blue here for the Blue Crab House, located right off of San Jose. It's on Jewington Creek Road. They've been around since 1996. Indoor-outdoor dining. Also, takeout is available at the Blue Crab House. Open 4:30 to 9, Tuesday through Saturday. Sunday, noon until 9. Remember, Tuesday, $2 margaritas. Wednesday, $1 oyster night. How about the blue crabs? How about my personal favorite, the Canadian snow crabs? Whatever it is that you fancy, you get it right there. The Blue Crab House.
There are 3 certainties in life: death, taxes, and if you stay in your home long enough, a new roof. Pick it here for our friends at Lockhart Roofing. Nobody better in Jacksonville. How do I know? They are a local certified Master Elite contractor, and that means they have a GAF Master Elite warranty. That's the best in the roofing industry. In this day and age, don't settle for cheaper discount roofers. Lockhart Roofing has been here for decades. They aren't going anywhere. Call my friends at Lockhart Roofing, 994-3851. That's 994-3851. Lockhart Roofing, Jacksonville's best for Jacksonville people.
You can't go inside your home team's locker room, so Jags beat reporter Hays Carlyon goes there for you.
Work on three, 1, 2, 3, hard!
Hays Carlyon here. Find my blog at 1010xl.com.
Brought to you by Roland Reach Plumbing, where quality and experience count. The flagship station of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
I'm Jeff Middlecoff with Trustline Mortgage. My business partners, Alan Tyre, Bill Pappas, and Ken Rimley, have been helping first-time home buyers with their mortgage financing all over Florida for 34 years. First-time home buyers can get no or low down payments, anywhere from 0 to 3.5% down. As a first-time home buyer with Trustline Mortgage, you get added benefits for doing your loan with us, like lower rates on your mortgage insurance and lower closing costs. Oh, and did I forget to mention that Trustline gives first-time homebuyers better mortgage interest rates? Here's the bottom line. Trustline Mortgage wants to help first-time homebuyers accomplish your goal of home ownership. That's why Trustline Mortgage is offering the best first-time homebuyer benefits around, period. Trustline Mortgage delivers with no and low down payments, lower closing costs, and better interest rates. Call Trustline Mortgage today at 381-LOAN. Yes, 381-LOAN to find out how we can help you buy your dream home. Or visit our website at trustlinemortgage.com. Trust your instincts and follow the line to Trustline Mortgage.
Certain restrictions apply. See office for details. Trustline is an equal housing opportunity. MLS number 331480.
Jaguars football is officially back. Be there for the Jaguars 2024 home opener when they go head-to-head with the Cleveland Browns. Join us as we celebrate Hispanic heritage and take the field at Everbank Stadium for the first time during our 30th season. Lock in your seats now for the 1 p.m. kick by going to jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000. We can't wait to see you back at the bank.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists returns with their free bumps and bruises evaluation clinics. Now with 4 locations, these free injury assessments are open to all schools and athletic programs. Saturday mornings from 9 to 10 through October 26th at Cortex Sports Performance in Ponte Vedra, Preferred PT in Fleming Island, and also at Brooks Rehab on Centurion Parkway and Brooks Rehab at World Golf Village.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
When storms start to crop up in the Atlantic or Gulf this time of year, having a solid plan to handle anything that sweeps through the First Coast is very important. That's where American Electrical comes in. Ensure your home's safety and comfort with an American Electrical home generator. As the area's leading home generator dealer and installer, American Electrical can offer you easy installation, simple maintenance, and peace of mind. Schedule an assessment by simply calling the team at American Electrical. They'll walk you through the best generator for your home or business. Log on, american-electrical.com.
Hello, this is Father Nicholas Lowe, and I want to talk to you about putting your worries in the right bucket. So often we put our worries in our own bucket, but many times they need to be in God's bucket. The Bible says, present your problems always to God. In other words, leave them in God's bucket. Understand that no matter what is out of your control, it's never out of the control of Almighty God.
To hear more inspirational messages by Reverend Dr. Nicholas Lowe, please visit our website at stjohnthedivine.com.
I'm Max Finke with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. Florida Gators linebacker Shamar James spoke to media ahead of their test against Texas A&M in the Swamp tomorrow. James spoke very highly on the quality of talent on the offensive side of the ball and how the excitement is real from the perspective of a vet on the team.
That was impressive. I would say no matter the opponent, he came out and had a big game. Him and Tank Hawkins, Aiden Mizell, they all had great games. I was proud of them. Just watching DJ first come in, just see him grow day by day. Just learning the playbook and making certain checks to get the offense in a better situation. I was just over there. I was excited on the sideline just watching him throw touchdowns.
The Gators have a bright future with many freshmen and sophomore studs making explosive plays for the offense so far. It's 82 degrees at 5 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Time for all things Jaguars and NFL with Pete Prisco. The Prisco Report, presented by Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles.
Showtime.
On the Frangie Show.
Hey, we thank our friends from Showtime. It's located, you know this by now, Phillips and Shad. Man, oh man, do they have everything. Everything you possibly could want. If you're a collector, no matter what team it is you root for, they've got stuff in there. It's big, it's wide open, spacious. You can't imagine how much stuff and how many little areas there are in there. Head to Showtime if you get a chance. Also, read all about them or find out about them on the social channels, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We appreciate Showtime, Sports Cards, and Collectibles. Pete Prisco joins us from CBSSports.com. Pete, I want to get to some Jaguar stuff in a minute. But the news of the day, obviously, Tua. What did you think when you saw it? I know nobody knows where that's headed. I'm not going to ask you that because nobody knows that. But it was a tough moment for the NFL watching Tua last night.
It's hard to see. It really is. I mean, we know that it's a violent game. We know it's an ugly game at times, and for reasons like that, or when guys break major bones, and you see it, and it's just tough to deal with. And he's got to take a step back, and nobody can tell him what to do or what he can't do. The doctors have to, his family has to, and ultimately he has to make the decision. But that's 4 of them. And, if you quality of life down the road, that's something you have to consider. So I'm not going to sit here and tell him that he needs to retire because that's his decision. It's up to him and his family and the doctors. But, boy, every time you see it, Frank, it is scary. And, it's just one of those situations where you see it and you go, oh, my gosh. And the irony of it was DeMar Hamlin that kind of gave him the hit that forced that to happen. The thing about it is it wasn't even that bad a hit. That's the scary part.
I know.
Hey, that's very well said. As you look at the Jaguar game against Cleveland, what stands out to you? Who did you pick, and what do you think is going to ultimately decide this game?
Well, I think Jacksonville is going to win the game. I think ultimately what decides the game is how bad Deshaun Watson is right now. I mean, I went back and watched that tape. He was horrendous. I mean, he couldn't hit anything, and he didn't even make some plays when he had a chance. Then there was a 4th down play. Instead of throwing it down the field to try and get something, maybe a pass interference or whatever, he took a sack. It just didn't look right. And look, he's never been the same quarterback he was in Houston, but he just doesn't look right. The offensive line's not very good. Those guys are all banged up. But this is the same group, the same exact group. They were down their 2 tackles last year. They were down the running back, Chubb, and they had Joe Flacco, and they were winning games. And so that's, you look at the quarterback, it's definitely the quarterback. I think Jacksonville will win the game. I think they'll be able to match up with him, even with the injuries in the secondary. I think they'll match up well with him. But I'm concerned for Deshaun Watson. If you're the Browns, at some point you got to look down that bench and say, hey, maybe we got to get Jameis warmed up and put him in the game.
Pete Prisco checking in from CBSSports.com. The Jaguar game last week against the Dolphins, weird game. Jaguars lead the thing most of the game. Miami, Pete, never led the game with time on the clock. The only time they led was when there were zeros at the end. We all know the story now. The tough fumble by Travis Etienne late kind of flipped the switch a little bit for the Dolphins. But big picture, what'd you make of that game?
That's the classic example of a team choking away a win they shouldn't have lost. I mean, you go in there, it's 24/7. Dolphins are packing it up. They're going home. And you're up 1-0 with a big road victory. Instead, you fumble, they hit the 80-yard shot because it was a bad play in the back end, and next thing you know, you're in a ball game. And then the coach made a bad decision, in my mind. He got away with it, sort of, but you can't do that in those kind of games. If it's 45-42, fine, I get it. It's 17-14. Your defense has been playing really well. Why would you go for that? It made no sense to me. I'm actually going to come up with a shirt this year. for everybody in the NFL, it's okay to punt, morons. I mean, seriously, it's okay to punt. And sometimes these guys, they get so caught up in it, and game flow matters. It really does. When these analytics, and you look at the analytics, and the numbers weren't that far off whether you went for it or punt, but game flow matters. And in that situation, game flow said you're winning 17-14, your defense has played well, punt the damn ball. I thought that was a really bad mistake on their part. And then, you know, the other mistake I thought was getting away from the throwing down the field. I think this team is built to throw it. You have weapons. You got a budding superstar down the road. It won't happen this year, but he'll be a superstar next year, Brian Thomas. I think he's going to be that good. You got, you know, Ingram, and he got 3 targets. That's not good enough for a guy who caught over 100 passes. They need to play looser and freer and allow that quarterback to earn his money and throw it around.
Pete, after this game, the Jaguars head to Buffalo on Monday night, and boy, the Bills looked incredible last night. What did you take away from their performance?
You know, I tried to tell everybody because, you know, I spend time with them. I know that team very well. The window closing is absurd. You have Josh Allen. The window's never closed. And he wasn't even forced to do that much last night, but the window's not closed. More than that, or just as equally important as that, is Sean McDermott's a great defensive coach. They played off. They dared him to, you know, take the short stuff, and Tua wasn't very good before he went out. But that Buffalo Bills team, get them now, too. That's the other part of it. They're missing guys. You know, they miss guys. Milano's not there. Bernard got hurt last night. You know, they're missing guys. And Von Miller's starting to look like Von Miller. When I talked to Von Miller in the summer, he admitted to me, he said, look, I thought I was going to be able to bounce back from that knee injury like I did when I was younger. I couldn't. I wasn't the same guy, but I feel like that guy now, and you're starting to see it. So I think that's definitely a team. Cook's a good runner. Davis is a good runner. They're physical on the offensive line. That's a team that most people slept on. They shouldn't have because they're really good.
Let me go back to the Jags for a second. Are you? I'm still confident the Jags have a very good team. I thought they outplayed Miami. You said it right. You lost a game you should have won, but you got to get a win. You got to get a win to feel. You know what I mean, Pete? You got to. Until you walk off that field with the win, you've forgotten how it feels. And teams need to know how it feels to keep getting those wins. Have you lost any confidence that the Jags are a pretty good team?
No, but I'll tell you what, if they lose at home to Cleveland and they're staring Buffalo in the face, then that's 0-3 you're looking at right there. So that would be a bad way to start your season. So this is an enormous game for the Jaguars. It really is. They have to win this game. I mean, you go 1-1, they go to Buffalo. It's a tough game. You lose that, okay, you're still 1-2. But if you lose this week at home in your home opener to a team that was dreadful last week and then have to go to Buffalo, that's a problem. So, you know, you never want to put must-win a label on a game like that. But that's basically what it is. I think you can't go to 0-3, and I'm not sure they can beat Buffalo at Buffalo. So I definitely think this is a must-win for them.
Would you pressure Watson with extra guys, or would you count on Trayvon and Josh Hines-Allen to beat the depleted tackles?
I'd count on those guys to beat the depleted tackles. I think they can get after them. I wouldn't, you know, just sit back the entire game. I think you have to change everything up. I think they did a really good job of that last week. I thought the defense played well. I really do. You know, but again, down starting tackles. Now, there's a chance Conklin could play, right? He hasn't been ruled out yet.
Yeah, he's questionable.
So if Conklin plays, who knows? But he's still coming off a major knee injury, goes in there. So whoever it is, there's an advantage for those pass rushers. So, yeah, I definitely think that you can rush him with 4. The other thing that stood out from last week, I thought Lloyd played his best game, one of his best games. I think he's starting to look like you know, the linebacker they thought he would be. That was one of his better games, and I think that's important for their defense.
Yeah, the move to Mike is good for him. He's big, he's sturdy, he's a physical guy. He's not trying to think about a bunch of stuff. He just stays there in the middle of the field, plays middle linebacker. Foye Oluokun now can play more in space. He also had a very good game. So I think you're exactly right about that, Pete.
How do they play it in the secondary this week? No Savage, no Campbell. So Brown will start at corner, you would think, right?
Yeah, Doug said we have Doug on the air at 4:00, and he came on with me and said that Monteric Brown will start at corner, and that Jarian Jones will start in the nickel, and that they will elevate Christian Braswell from the practice squad, and he'll be the backup in that spot. So that's what we just talked about that when about an hour ago, Pete. So that's how they're going to play it.
And Jones played some nickel last week when they had Savage playing in deep safety, which I think was good. I think he's got some talent. That kid's got some real talent. I think he's going to end up being a really good player.
No question. Played very well. 100% agree with you. Hey, let me ask you, league-wide, as you go around the league last week, what surprised you the most? Who impressed you the most? So certainly the Cowboys looked really good, but they were playing a team that isn't very good. Maybe the Lions look good. Did anybody impress you more than anybody else week one?
Well, I think San Francisco was impressive, the way they just ran the ball down the Jets' throat. I mean, that you got a backup running back, and you got questions on your offensive line, and you're supposed to be playing one of the better defenses in the league. You just ran it right down their throat. That, to me, was impressive. I think that's something to keep an ye on going forward, no matter who's playing running back. You know, it's the old Shanahan way. No matter who it was in Denver, their father always had a running back that could run for 1,000 yards, and now it doesn't really matter who goes in there. They're not McCaffrey. He's special. But, man, that kid ran hard and tough, and they just mauled the Jets. So that was a little bit of a surprise to me and impressive. The surprising thing was the rookie quarterbacks all stunk. I mean, Daniels did a couple things, but for the most part, they weren't very good. And, you know, Caleb Williams wasn't very good. Bo Nix was awful. And so I think those guys got to pick it up. And then you look around the league, there's certain teams that just aren't very good right now. I mean, the Jets, the Giants are awful. And then what happened to Atlanta? Kirk Cousins looks like he's a shell of himself. He can't move. And so there's concern now in Atlanta. So I think those all stood out. And from the positive side, Baker Mayfield, look, man, the kid threw 4 touchdown passes against Washington. Okay, I get it, your home opener. But they love him. That team is way better than people give him credit for. Now, they're banged up in the secondary. That's going to be tough this week against the Lions. But, man, they're good on offense.
Yeah, Kyle Shanahan actually just updated Christian McCaffrey. He's out this week, and Shanahan said that yesterday was his worst day, that they're actually now considering IR for McCaffrey. So huge news there. And Pete, you like the Vikings over the 49ers this week, right?
Yeah, and the reason I do that is I think coming off a short week, I think that's tough. You put a lot into that opener. You don't have that guy. And the Vikings, Brian Flores is such a darn good coach. He's going to throw 80,000 different looks at that running game and try and slow it down. And I think they'll do enough to slow it down. And look, Jefferson's capable of making plays on anybody. He makes 1 or 2 big ones. You got yourself a game. So I think the Vikings can beat him, and that's a tough place to play.
Pete Prisco checking in from CBSSports.com. As always, final thing, Pete. Assuming the Jaguars win the game, we'll ask you this next week, but assuming the Jaguars win the game, pretty good matchup with Buffalo. I mean, a lot of people Buffalo's going to be a touchdown or more favorite, I think, in that game. What do you think?
It depends how Jacksonville plays this week. If they score 30, look good, dominant on defense, then I think they might be a 4-point favorite in the game, 5-point favorite in the game. That's a good Buffalo team. That's a hard place to play. It really is. But if you can stop the run, I can't believe I'm saying this as it relates to the Buffalo Bills, but if you can stop their run, we don't know what they have on the outside. You know, it still hasn't stepped up yet. You know, the rookie didn't do much last night. Shakir's been good. Samuel didn't do anything. Kincaid's been limited. I thought he'd catch 120 balls this year. He's only got like 6 of them because teams have doubled and tripled them. But we're not sure if you stop the run what could happen. So it's all going to come down to if you can stop the run. And by the way, they did a pretty good job stopping the run against Miami. That was not a flaw. Was it 3.2 per rush? That was not a problem.
They really did. And until the end, it was even less than that. You're exactly right. Pete Prisco checking in from CBSSports.com, brought to you by Showtime. Thank you, Pete.
All right, guys. Take care.
All right. Great job. I do want to thank you, by the way, and do want to remind you, by the way, Showtime's got a very special day going on tomorrow all around the country, by the way, if you're a collector. Topps Hobby Rip Night is a big deal. It's going on all over the country. It is September 14th. That's tomorrow. So it's from 3:30 to 6 at Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles. You know where it is now on Phillips Highway, right there at Shad Road. They're going to have giveaways, breaks, raffles, all kind of fun stuff. It's going to be a blast. So if you are a collector, tomorrow is the time to get to Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles. Topps presents Hobby Rip Night all over the country. And you know all about Topps if you're a collector. Hayes, you grew up collecting. You know all about the Topps people.
It's phenomenal.
And so a phenomenal night, a phenomenal day today. Hobby Rip Night, 3:30 to 6 at Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles. That is tomorrow afternoon. Get there at Phillips Highway at the end of Shad Road. We'll take a break. Our picks are next, so stay with us.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show. From the Harrell and Harrell studio, don't settle for less than you deserve.
It's time for Bravo Days, Jacksonville's only Car Bravo certified sales event. at Nimnick Buick GMC. For a limited time, enjoy rates as low as 1.9% APR or $500 in down payment assistance on Car Bravo's certified vehicles at Nimnick. Now is the time to shop certified used vehicles and buy with confidence at Nimnick Buick GMC. Again, Jacksonville's only Car Bravo certified dealer. Buying a certified used vehicle has never felt better. With Car Bravo, Nimnick Buick GMC can certify all makes and models. Honda, Toyota, Kia, Mazda, Ford, all makes, all models. Trading in your old vehicle? Well, don't forget who gives you the top dollar for your trade. Nobody but Nimnick. So shop online at nimnickbuickgmc.com or visit their showroom off Phillips Highway. That's Nimnick. We are professional grade GMC.
Every NFL Sunday starts with a kickoff.
All you got to do is put your foot right through the ball.
After the game, we'll crown the special teams player of the game.
He is a difference maker now.
Brought to you by Crown Royal.
This is the last play of the game.
On 1010XL.
Are you thinking about upgrading your outdoor space with artificial turf? Well, you're going to love working with Caleb at Sunshine Turf. He's genuine, always on time, and really trustworthy. Frank Frangie here. We had Sunshine Turf design and install turf at the Bragan Baseball Complex, and it's gorgeous and maintenance-free. From putting greens to pet runs around pools and more, Sunshine Turf can do it all. Visit sunshineturf.info to get a free quote today from Sunshine Turf. That's sunshineturf.info.
Jimerson Burr is a full-service, Florida-based commercial law firm that has experience and capabilities to handle any legal issue a business is confronted with. Learn more about what they can do for you at jimersonfirm.com.
Are you embarrassed by your ugly, cracked concrete driveway? Need to enhance your home's curb appeal? Stonecore on Phillips Highway is your one-stop shop for all your outdoor needs. Replacing with new stone pavers will transform your driveway into a stunning work of art. Say goodbye to unsightly concrete and hello to beautiful, durable pavers that last for years. Visit Stonecore today and let's beautify your home together. Stonecore.co. We do outdoors better.
Baloo here for Smoonez Vision. Why Smoonez Vision? Well, I've been with Dr. Neil Smoonez now since I got back to Jacksonville in 2006. 37 years of experience he has. Smoonez Vision is a family organization that focuses on personal high-quality medical and surgical eye care. Dr. Catherine Smoonez is fellowship-trained in cornea and cataract surgery and all refractive surgery. Combined, that's 30 years plus in laser eye surgery. Visit SmoonezVision.com today. Care you can see.
Getting you ready for the game. Pre-Game Friday. Brought to you by MyBookie and Dream Finders Homes on 1010XL.
You know when you said come over for the fight? We thought you meant your house.
You guys want another round of Bud Lights?
Service is better here. And so is the beer.
Bud Light is back as the official beer sponsor of UFC. Enjoy responsibly. 2024 Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Hey, sports fans, it's Hays Carlyon for MyBookie. Football is back. Winning season is back. MyBookie's here to make sure you're ready to cash in on the action. This season, MyBookie is pulling out all the stops with incredible promotions like weekly risk-free boosts on Thursdays, where you can bet without a sweat. If your bet hits, you win big, and if it doesn't, forget it. MyBookie will refund your wager. But that's just the beginning. MyBookie is giving away hundreds of thousands in prizes with their Super Survivor and Squares contests. Get your entries in now for a shot at huge cash rewards. For a limited time, they are bringing back the double deposit bonus when you're ready to get started. Use my promo code 1010XL to claim a bonus that doubles your money on your very first deposit with promo code 1010XL before you even place a bet. Remember, exclusive giveaways and bigger rewards. MyBookie is the lock of the century. Bet on anything, anywhere, anytime, and make sure your season is a winning one.
Share your voice anytime on the 1010XL text line.
Are you serious? Installed by Lifetime Flooring.
I gotta say, you're totally blowing my mind right now.
If you can't call or email, text us. 641-1010.
Don't make a bad call when it comes to servicing your home. Cooling off with a baby pool in the house to fix your air conditioning problem is a bad call. Trying to catch a wave in a flooded bathroom is a bad call. Using a burning electrical panel to make s'mores is a bad call. The next time something goes wrong, make a good call to Donovan.
Whether you need air, electric, or plumbing service, Donovan is always a good call. It's why we've been trusted by our customers for almost 40 years and why you can trust us to deliver fast, reliable service to your home. Donovan, always a good call.
Visit DonovanAC.com today.
Hey, Hicken here. I want to talk skin along with my friends at Beaches Dermatology, reminding you to wear your sunscreen. Football season is back, baby. And with that, days under that bright sun. So when you load up that truck for the game day tailgate, or the chairs for your kids' flag games, or even the boat heading downtown to watch our Jags, make sure you bring the screen. Sunscreen, that is. It's a must here in Duval. But if you have any concerns right now, give Beaches Dermatology a call online at beachesdermatology.com.
Daly's Dash is not only your Jaguars game day stop, but a great place to grab a meal any day of the week. To honor the Jags and the fans, we've crafted the Duval Sub. The Duval comes with freshly sliced turkey, ham, melted cheddar, and habanero jack cheese, topped with crisp lettuce, fresh tomatoes, and a double portion of our secret sauce, all served on a fresh roll. Come by your local's Daly's Dash today to get your delicious Duval Sub. Daly's is the official convenience store sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
The Frangie Show Picks Contest is presented by Sunshine Turf. For the highest quality artificial grass installations at affordable prices, it's Sunshine Turf.
And I thank my friend Caleb Smith from Sunshine Turf. You can call him at 904-892-0580. I want you to know that number again, 904-892-0580. I know so many people that are getting putting greens in their yards, turf in their backyards under the playground, turf for their kids. Everybody's doing it. Nobody does a better job than Caleb at Sunshine Turf. 904-892-0580. That's the number to call. We thank you for sponsoring our Picks contest. Here we go. We are very good at this. We were all 2-6 the last time we did this.
Wow.
2-6, and that's not against the spread. We're going right at it. We're going to start with J.J. LaSelva out of Ocala Forest. UCF plays at TCU. That's a bunch of initials there, J.J.
I'm going to go with LS. No, I'll go with, where is it?
It's in Fort Worth, Texas.
I'll go with TCU.
TCU at home, says J.J. LaSelva. Hays Carlyon, he's from the bowl school.
I really like UCF in this game. I think offensively they're going to have just too much for TCU.
I'm coming with J.J. LaSelva. I'm going to say TCU at home. West Virginia at Pitt, Hayes, they call that the backyard brawl, bruh. I don't know if you knew that or not.
They do.
West Virginia at Pitt. West Virginia, a 1-point road favorite, by the way.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Pitt here. I just think I wasn't overly impressed with West Virginia against Penn State, so I'll go with the Pitt Panthers.
Pitt had to come from behind and found a way to beat Cincinnati. But Cade Bell's the offensive coordinator. That's Kerwin Bell's kid.
Yeah.
So I'm going with Pitt. They're at home. JJ.
Yeah, Pitt was down like 3 or 4 touchdowns last week, and I looked up and they won. I'm going to go with West Virginia. By the way, the fact that this game wasn't played for so long, absolute catastrophe.
Yeah,
one of the best rivalries in sport.
All right. In Tallahassee, at the Doak, Florida State is at home against Memphis. I think this is a close game. I think it's a fourth quarter game. I think Memphis gives them all they want, but at the end of the day, I'll take the Noles. I think they win the game. JJ.
I agree with everything you said right there. I think it'll be close, but I think Florida State will win.
And Hays Carlyon from the Moss Pit Grill.
I think Seth Hennigan is going to throw the ball all over FSU. I think Memphis goes to Tallahassee and beats the Noles and pushes them to 0-3.
I wouldn't hate that.
I love it. I love it. There may be some game picker-uppers in there. Let's see what winds up happening. And finally, J.J. LaSelva. You've already been to the swamp one time more than the rest of us have. You've been there. You sweat.
And I stayed for the whole game, Frank.
You had the sweat right down. The sweat was going down the chin. It was hot. It was muggy.
And I didn't mind it whatsoever.
Back to the swamp we go. Florida at home against Texas A&M. JJ.
Dude, I think you guys are going to win this game. I've been saying it for like a week now. I think that Lagway is going to play a lot. I think they're going to quickly realize who the better quarterback is, who gives them a better chance to win. Lagway-led Gators beat Texas A&M.
One-time gunner on that Bulls punt coverage team. My man, Hays Carlyon. I just love saying that.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's one of the most enjoyable things of my year.
And who wouldn't want that 5.240 at the gunner spot for you? I am going to say that Texas A&M is too strong in the trenches on both sides, and I think they've got the far superior head coach. And so I like Texas A&M to go to the swamp and beat Florida.
Yeah, I don't know enough about Mike Elko as a head coach yet, and I really don't. I think they've got better players, and I think it's supposed to rain. They love to run the football. Wigman hadn't thrown for over 120 yards in a game yet. I think A&M goes in there, and I think A&M, I won't say puts a number on them, but I'll bet they cover. And I bet it's double digits. I think. I hope I'm dead wrong, JJ.
Imagine that stadium, man.
Yeah, I just think A&M's tough, more physical.
I think at least now, if you're going to the game, you at least have to have the expectation
in the back of your mind
that might happen.
Yeah, I think. So, I mean, I don't think it's 44-10, but I'll bet you it's 28-16.
Wow, 16 points.
Yeah, I think it's that kind of a game, so we see what happens. Those are our picks. Let's get into some NFL music, can we, JJ? We're going to switch this around a little bit. Right to the NFL we go. Hays Carlyon, you were up first. The Colts, the Indianapolis Colts, on the road to play the Packers and Malik Willis. What do you like?
I'm going to go with the Colts. I mean, I just think that Malik Willis, from what I've seen, maybe Matt LaFleur will work some magic, but I think they're going to be awfully limited. And look, Anthony Richardson's explosive. He makes some mistakes, and we'll see if he can finish the game. Obviously, health's been an issue, but I think the Indianapolis Colts go to Lambeau and win.
I'm coming with you. I'm taking the road team. I'll take the Colts. JJ.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. He couldn't even throw the Hail Mary at the end of the game last week, so I'm not a Malik Willis believer. I'm going with the Colts.
The Titans are at home against the Jets. The Titans are a home underdog against the Jets. Everybody loves the Jets in this game. The Titans really struggled at the end of the game. I think play it at home, the Titans are going to win that game, so I will be the surprise. I'm taking Tennessee. Hays.
I'm going to go the other way. I will take the Jets to rebound off a disappointing performance on Monday Night Football against the 49ers. I think San Francisco is incredibly elite this year, so I don't put a lot of that on the Jets. I think they're going to play a Titans team that is outmatched at a lot of spots. I think they get after Levis, so give me the Jets.
And JJ.
Imagine the New York media if Salah loses to the Titans and what we saw Levis do last week. I'm going to go with the Jets. I would be shocked. Frank should get like 5 extra points, honestly, if the Titans win this game.
The Broncos are at home against the Steelers. Hays Carlyon, what say you?
I like the Steelers. I think defensively they're going to give Bo Nix all kinds of issues, and I really just don't like Denver's weapons around him. They're just, to me, they're mediocre anyway. So low scoring, but I think the Steelers pull it out.
JJ LaSalva.
I agree, Pittsburgh.
The Broncos are at home. The Steelers did not score a touchdown last week. I will take Denver at home to get to a 1-1, and the Steelers will be 1-1 as well. And finally, on the banks of the St. Johns River at Trevor Bank Stadium, a big one, the first home affair. JJ LaSalva, Browns and Jags. This one counts extra points. Who do you like?
I have the Jags to win and cover easily. I think the Jags by double digits.
Hays Carlyon.
I'm going to go with the Jags. I'm concerned that Cleveland is the mentally stronger team, but I just think their injuries, not having Njoku, not having their left tackle Willis, they might not have their right tackle Conklin. I get it. They've played without the tackle. It's still, that's an overwhelming advantage. Deshaun Watson doesn't look good at all, so I think the Jaguars bounce back and get a win. I think their talent is just too great for Cleveland to combat.
Cleveland won 11 games last year. This is the second time in a row the Jags are facing a team that was 11-6 a year ago. They led the league in defense a year ago. Last week you played the Dolphins, who led the league in offense a year ago. But I would be surprised if the Jags don't win the game. So we all three take the Jags. I'll take the Jags as well. Those are our picks. One more time, I'll go through them. The first game, Hays has the game picker-upper. He's got UCF. JJ and I both have TCU. Memphis, Florida State. Hays has the game picker-upper. He's got Memphis. JJ and I both have FSU. Again, West Virginia, Pitt. JJ's got the game picker-upper. He's got West Virginia. Hays and I have Pitt. And JJ's also got it with Texas A&M, Florida. Hays and I both think A&M's going to win. JJ's got Florida. Colts, Packers. We all like the Colts. Titans, Jets. I've got the game picker-upper. I've got Titans. You guys both like the Jets. Game picker-upper also for me, Broncos, Steelers. I'll take the Broncos. You guys both like the Steelers. We all three like the Jags. One more time, 2-6. 2-6, 2-6. Those are the records. We are lousy.
Yes.
Back in a moment to wrap the program on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
The Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
This is Brent Musburger's Action Update, brought to you by Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, here are the latest lines from my guys in the desert.
Major League Baseball, the New York Yankees, the betting favorite to capture the American League pennant. The Yankees, who are on top of the AL East, are plus 230 to enter the World Series. The Houston Astros are plus 320. Baltimore plus 340. The Cleveland Guardians on top of the AL Central plus 550. Right behind them, the Minnesota Twins plus 850. The LA Dodgers are the betting favorite to win the National League pennant. They are plus 140. The Philadelphia Phillies plus 220. While the San Diego Padres, who've been hot in the second half of the season, plus 750. The Milwaukee Brewers are plus 1,000. This update brought to you by Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning, a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm Tony Desiri with your VSiN Action Update on 1010XL.
Florida homeowners are going to extreme lengths to stay cool this summer.
We sit in front of the refrigerator with the door open and only eat frozen foods while they're still frozen and put ice cubes down our pants. Whoa, that's cold.
But the most popular and cost-effective way can be summed up by a quack. Just call Duck Air Conditioning. For AC repairs to new installations, you too can beat the Florida heat with Duck Air Conditioning, Jacksonville area's AC experts. Trust the Duck to keep your cooling costs low. DuckAC.com.
Now, the Southeast Orthopedic Specialist Gator Injury Report.
Florida Gators will be missing 10 players for Saturday's game against Texas A&M, including wide receiver Khalil Jackson, who tore his ACL at practice last week, and defensive backs Amon Covington and Braden Slade. Standout wide receiver Eugene Wilson III came up on the questionable list last night, along with defensive back Sheriff Denson and edge rusher TJ Searcy. Quarterback Graham Mertz is off the injury report after missing last week's game with a concussion. I'm Max Fink with your Gator Injury Report, brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
This is Hays Carlyon for Harold and Harold. I was at lunch with my good friend Holt, and he was telling me that sometimes a lawyer can get more from a case than their own client. I was surprised to hear this, but Holt said that doesn't happen with Harold and Harold. They'll never take a fee that is greater than their own client. When they say they treat their clients as a person and not a file, they mean it. Hopefully you won't need them, but if you're ever injured, call Harold and Harold at 904-251-1111. That's 904-251-1111.
Tyson Sound and Security is looking to hire a master electrician. Are you or someone you know a master electrician with residential experience? Candidate will start at the industry's most competitive pay. Apply online at TysonSoundandSecurity.com or call 762-1000. Tyson Sound and Security, hiring a master electrician with residential experience, offering top-notch industry pay. Call to apply, 762-1000.
Equal opportunity employer.
Mia O'Brien is going to be the first woman president of the United States of America.
Catch me weekdays from noon to 2 on Helmets and Heels.
And she could run later this year even, and I would vote for her.
All things Mia are driven by Arlington Toyota on 1010XL.
Now that's what I call high-quality H2O.
If you want high-quality water in your home at a fair price that won't scare you to death, then talk to someone who knows water and is not a pushy salesman. Contact your local water boy, Keith. I install premium equipment and can repair or even rebuild your existing system. In a business known for aggressive sales tactics, let me show you how my approach is different. If you've got any water problems, contact the water boy at waterboyjack.com.
Imagine stepping out of your cozy cabin on a crisp fall morning, coffee in hand, a stunning view from your private porch greets you. You spend the day relaxing at the tiki bar or taking a dip in the year-round pool while catching the big game on TV. Welcome to Island Oaks RV Resort, just past McClenny off exit 333. Book your cabin that sleeps 4 to 6 people. A close, affordable getaway with activities for the whole family. Make memories that last at Island Oaks RV Resort, IslandOaksRVResort.com.
Pickett here with my concierge doctor, Richard Townsend. Doc T, how does a concierge direct primary care operate?
We are a membership-based primary care made directly between a patient and physician. We'll have a limited amount of patients that allows us to give unlimited access and personal service to you. This individualized approach has been shown to lower hospitalizations as well as maintain healthier lives. We also give 24/7 access via phone to me outside of our scheduled office hours.
To learn more, go to mypvconcierge.com.
I'm here with Clayton Bromberg of Underwoods. Clayton, how does a diamond or piece of jewelry have its price authenticated by an independent appraisal?
Frank, simply put, there's a difference between a selling price and an appraisal value. In the estate and auction business, you almost always see a new replacement price put on an old used piece. But when you have a new piece with a higher replacement price, you have to wonder why somebody would sell you something for a lot less than it's worth, unless maybe it's not worth what they said. Let me tell you a story about what happened at Underwoods the other day. We were putting into stock a 1-carat diamond that had an EGL report on it. When we opened the report, we found a separate appraisal for the diamond by the Universal Gemological Services, which, by the way, is owned by that laboratory. They appraised the diamond loose for $7,230, which we found interesting because the diamond was in our stock at $5,100. I can honestly say that that diamond wouldn't sell anywhere for $7,230, so that type of appraisal is worthless.
That's Underwoods, where they make it a point to know the truth about diamonds and jewelry at San Marco, Avondale, or the shops of Ponte Vedra.
Cold beer and good grub. That's what you'll get at Taps on 210. Just a great neighborhood feel where friends and family get together. Check out Taps in the Winn-Dixie Plaza, just west of 95 on County Road 210, proudly supporting our 9 After 5 weekly. Head there for a cold one.
This is Chelsea with Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors. Here's what people are saying about working with us.
Installers were professional, courteous, and efficient.
Great customer service. On time, explained the process, and walked me through the installation. Amazing team.
Our experience with Renewal by Anderson was outstanding from the beginning to end.
Renewal by Anderson, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit rbafla.com.
License number CGC 1527613.
Renewal by Anderson, custom windows and doors.
I-9 Sports wants to make sure kids all over the First Coast can enjoy growing up on a field or in a gym. And right now, fall and winter registration is open. Find out what I-9 Sports offers across Duval, Clay, and St. John's. i9sports.com. Enter 1010 in the promo code for a discount.
This is Dr. Kevin Kaplan, head team physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jags, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
The Jaguars secondary has taken multiple hits this week with injuries to Tyson Campbell and now Darnell Savage. This morning, Jaguars head coach Doug Pederson said that Savage suffered a quad injury in yesterday's practice, and the chances are not good that he plays Sunday against the Browns. Meanwhile, top cornerback Tyson Campbell was placed on injured reserve on Thursday with a hamstring injury. Campbell will miss at least the next 4 games. On the Cleveland side, Browns left tackle Jedrick Wills has been ruled out of Sunday's game, and right tackle Jack Conklin is questionable. Jags, Browns, Sunday at 1 o'clock. I'm Andrew Gibson with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars update.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, the Cool Down with Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Keeping Jack's cool since 1987.
All right, let's cool it down. Tell you where we've been on the program today. Doug Pederson was kind enough to join us, as he does every Friday. Talked about the Browns-Jaguars game. The head coach talked all about his team bouncing back. He thinks they're ready to play. He knows they took the loss hard, and Travis Etienne among those who can't wait to get going. So it was good to have Doug Pederson on the program earlier today. You heard from Evan Ingram. Hays caught up with the fantastic pass-receiving tight end. Pete Prisco joined us to talk more NFL. We did our picks just a moment ago, maybe the 3 worst prognosticators in all of Jacksonville. We kind of pride ourselves in that. And that is where we've been talking a lot of Gators, Knowles, and Jaguars today, and a fun weekend is coming up. Let's do an injury report, JJ.
The personal injury attorneys of Farah & Farah present this injury update. Farah & Farah, Jacksonville, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
All right, so if you haven't heard, this came out earlier this week. Unfortunately, Tyson Campbell is on the IR, and so he will be missing the next few games. Andrew Wingard's still out. And on this week's injury report, Darnell Savage has been named out for a quad injury. Caleb Johnson, questionable with a back, and Tyler Lacey, questionable with a toe. And for the Browns, just 3 guys. Jack Conklin, if you heard Gibby, just say questionable. David Njoku, who killed the Jags last year, is out, and Jedrick Wills also out.
I hated hearing the thing about Savage.
Yeah, that's tough.
That happened just yesterday.
Practice,
Just yesterday. It's a couple days before the game, 3 days before the game, so you hate here as well. All right, one segment to go on the program. We'll turn it over to our friend Matt Hays. He's got the college football preview coming up in just a bit. We do that on Friday nights now, and then, of course, Bishop Kenny and Bowles on both of our signals, 2 different broadcasts, because we air the broadcast from both teams. So Josh Pate, late kick Josh as we call him, great guest, comes on the air, part of the Woolsey Markham National College Football Report. We kind of asked him if we thought Lane Kiffin would be a shoo-in for the Florida job. Here's what he said.
You think Lane Kiffin would go to Florida?
In a heartbeat. Lane Kiffin would walk to Florida if they would give him the job. This is not a debate. Look, I've got Ole Miss people in my very close social circle, and they fight me on this. They're like, what can you do at Florida that you can't do at Ole Miss? Win a national championship is what you can do there. And you can consistently be a player there. Contrary to what people believe about Ole Miss, that is still a build multiple years to a peak kind of program, a window program, as I call them. They're not sustained year in and year out. This is not that caliber of program. Florida can be.
All right, and that, by the way, was with Crane and Company.
Yeah, Josh joined us a couple weeks ago.
He joined us before and said he didn't think that.
Correct.
Which is interesting.
He kind of hinted at things like when he was on with us, and
he certainly didn't say he wouldn't go to Florida.
Right. Correct. And again, now it was a couple weeks ago, so he's probably gotten new, fresh intel, and it was interesting hearing him say that he believes Lane Kiffin would crawl to Gainesville.
The word was it was always his dream job. He's got people probably know he is his ex-wife, the former Layla Reeves, the daughter of the former the late John Reeves, one-time great first-round draft pick quarterback out of Florida. Later went on to be an assistant coach on Steve Spurrier's staff. Played for the Tampa Bay Bandits under Spurrier as well. That is Layla's dad. Was Layla's dad. And Layla and Lane are divorced now, but he still has a lot of family there. His family, his dad's family, Monty Kiffin, Layla's family, which means the grandparents are all still in Tampa, and that's kind of what's near and dear to him. He'd be in the Tampa Bay area is near and dear to Lane Kiffin, and he'd be 2 hours away from it if he coached. And it's the Florida job. So a lot of people believe he would be he would be the coach. Here's one thing I'll say: if Billy Napier doesn't make it, if he gets fired. And listen, it's hard to think that he's not going to it now, being honest about it. But if he gets fired, every Gator fan is locked in on that only one name. I can tell you back in '89 when I was covering the Gators, Hayes, for the Times-Union, when Spurrier was on his way to winning the ACC at Duke, he'd done great things at Duke, and Galen Hall got fired. There was only one name, Spurrier was the only name on any list. And I remember thinking as a sports writer covering it, what if it's not him? What if either they don't offer him the job or he doesn't want the job? Gator fans are so locked into one guy that same thing with Georgia. When they fired Mark Richt, there was one name. It was Kirby Smart. And Greg McGarity told us about the pursuit of Kirby Smart on the program yesterday. Now, look, both those guys were alumni of their schools. Lane Kiffin's not a Florida alumnus, but what if it's not him? What if you fire Billy Napier and for whatever reason it's not? You just outlined a scenario that Florida fans don't want to hear, but it was very interesting. Lay it out again.
Well, I think the thing is Florida could be a plan B for a coach like Lane Kiffin, because what happens if Ryan Day loses to Michigan again and gets fired? I think it's ridiculous, but if Ryan Day, for whatever reason, gets fired, and again, I don't know who Ohio State and their fan base may have their guy that they want to go get. But, I mean, I think if you're Ohio State, you'd have to at least take a look at Lane Kiffin. And if you're Lane Kiffin, you would take Ohio State over Florida if it's about winning at the highest level immediately, because you step into Ohio State with NIL that is so well funded, and they've been winning now for all these recruits. All they've known throughout their lives is Ohio State winning at a very high level. So, that is a scenario where it could complicate things because you don't know. You're not going to probably be the only job that opens if you're Florida. So is there another spot that could open up on the carousel that might push you down a level. There aren't going to be many, and it's hard to foresee. So Ohio State was the one that popped into my head just because we've heard about, Ryan Day maybe being on a hot seat, even though he wins whatever it is, 85% of his games. I mean, again, it seems ridiculous to me, but Ohio State is in a situation, it's a little John Cooper-ish, where they've now seen Michigan surpass them. They've seen Michigan win a national title. They've invested so much money in this football team.
Yeah.
So if he can't get it done, do they move on? But maybe Ohio State maybe they've got somebody else that they would focus on before Kiffin. But if it was Kiffin, boy, I don't know how you take Florida over Ohio State.
Ohio State is, at worst, equally as good a job as Florida. I think you can make the athletic budget is bigger and the resistance is far less. So you could make the argument it's way easier to win a title at Ohio State than it is at Florida. Now, look, both are great schools. Both are great programs. The right coach can and has won national championships at both. Urban Meyer won one at each of those schools. So you can certainly do it at both places, but it'll be interesting to see if it plays out that way with Lane Kiffin. Right now, he's the only name that you hear. So,
I mean, what if Sark gets an NFL job,
right?
And so Texas is open.
Yeah, so
you just don't know.
That's kind of the point.
If Florida is the best job, I think Lane Kiffin would be the Florida.
Yeah,
coach.
and I think now I'm not sure he wouldn't take Florida over all those jobs because he's always wanted this job. So say people close to him, but we will see. So here's how I think it happens. We picked all the games. You think Memphis is going to go into Tallahassee and win? I think JJ and I both think FSU is going to win that game, but we all agree it's going to be a really good game.
Yeah, I'm not confident.
Yeah, same. JJ, you are confident Florida's going to win. It sounds like
if they play Lagway, and if Lagway is what I think he's supposed to be, yeah. Texas A&M to me looked like crap against Notre Dame, and then we saw Notre Dame really isn't worth a crap last week. So just based on those two games, I am picking Florida at home.
If A&M goes in there and wins handily, the noise will be deafening. I'm still not convinced the firing happens this weekend, but if they win handily, the noise will be deafening.
It might.
The noise will be out there if they lose, period. Now, to the point we've all made, if Florida wins and Lagway is the deciding factor in that game, in fact, if they win, I think he's going to be. Okay, so if they win and Lagway's, so now you're 2-1, and Lagway is 2-0 as either A, a starter, or B, as an impact player. Then my guess is he probably does start in Starkville. And if he goes to Starkville on the road and wins, and you're 3-1 with an off date coming up, I now think it quiets. So that doesn't mean it's quiet forever. But if all of a sudden it looks like Lagway's really good, he will stay if Billy stays. You're 3-1. I think all that noise softens a great deal. That's how important this next stretch is.
It's massive.
Yeah,
I mean, it's going to decide Billy Napier's career.
His career.
Because I don't think he's going to get another shot at a major program. You might see Billy Napier as a head coach at a minor program, but this is it for Billy Napier. So I mean, I think in the next 24 hours, Billy Napier's career is either going to be over as a major head coach, or he's going to buy himself a little bit of time.
Yeah, let's say hello to our pal Matt Hays.
Now, the 2-minute drill, brought to you by Injury Care Centers. Discover BioTarget Regenerative Therapy, a safer drug-free solution for lasting pain relief. Visit GoBioTarget.com.
How you doing?
We talking hiring and firing?
Have you picked these games yet? Have you picked them yet?
No, but I just sent JJ the picks for the show.
Okay,
and we're like, these are brutal.
Okay, so you're going to pick it in your show. You're not going to tell us who you think's going to win. That's okay. I don't want you to scoop yourself here. But because Hays and I both think A&M is going to go in there and win. JJ thinks Florida's going to beat A&M. What I will ask you to say is this: if Florida gets rolled, could it happen this weekend?
Oh yeah, Sunday.
You think so?
Oh yeah,
you do. Okay.
Well, I mean, there are. And I'll get into this more in the show. There are big booster guys that wanted them gone after the Miami game.
There are boosters that. There was a talk in the booster base that it would happen a week after the Miami game. There was talk that wasn't going to happen that Sunday. That I can tell you, as you've probably talked to some of the same folks I have, that there was talk. There were people that got together and said, does it make sense to do it 1 week after the Miami game, and then I think they backed they.
And then Ken Fox ended that quickly.
Yeah, correct. They stood down. That's
right.
exactly right.
Exactly what happened. Yeah.
And so for that reason, I don't think there's much that could force it to happen Sunday. Now, 48-3, you know. Yeah. I mean, I'm serious now. I mean, 30.
Look at Carlyon just shaking his head over there.
I can't discount it.
Yeah. I mean, okay, 48-3 is probably not.
28-6 is not good.
Yeah.
28-6 happens and it looks bad. That's that's not good.
But does 28-6 ever not look bad?
No, that's just a weird score and never good for the 16.
But I do think the noise is going to be deafening if they lose the game, no matter how they lose the game. I think his only, and I said this after the Miami game. His only chance, when we learned that Mertz had the concussion, his only chance to keep the job is Mertz plays. Mertz is great. They win 2 or 3 in a row with Mertz. I'm sorry. Lagway plays. Lagway's great. They win 2 or 3 in a row with Lagway, and now there's the hope. And now the fans think, okay, now we are 3-1. It is a brutal schedule. Lagway's going great. Lagway's probably leaving if he leaves. So that's his only hope to keep the job. You agree?
Yeah, for the most part. I think the problem is what your idea is in the middle of that is Lagway plays great. He's gonna have to have a lot of help, and there's not a lot of good players in that team.
No, I'm saying if he plays great and they win the game, I agree with you. I went back and watched the first half. I told Hays this. I think I told you this off the air. I was astounded that they didn't run better for a Florida football team. They weren't a whole lot faster than Samford. Now Samford ran out of gas because they're a bad FCS team, but they weren't a whole lot faster. I mean, Matt, you remember the day when Charleston Southern would come in there and they'd snap the ball and Kevin Carter or Tony McCoy or Javon Curse or Sharif Floyd, they would destroy those guys to where it was 43-0 in the first half, and then the backups that day's over. Yeah. I mean, they weren't much faster than Samford. That shocked me.
Who's used to be the holder? Billy, what was his name? Used to do signal plays in too long ago.
Billy, yeah.
That was his time to play those games.
Yeah.
He'd go in the last 2 series and hand off. What was his name?
Billy.
I'm thinking Billy Latsko, but it's not Billy Latsko.
The guy used to like.
But he was a guy like that. Latsko was a
similar
fullback.
Type guy. Yes, of course. Yeah.
What's coming up tonight? What are you doing?
We're getting a little bit of this.
Yeah.
We'll get into Florida State and Florida. Actually, I'm gonna throw a little concept out there that y'all may not have thought of.
I love concepts. I'm all about concepts.
I mean, if Florida and Florida State both lose, whose fan base is more in the jar Sunday morning?
I think it's Florida State.
I do too, because Florida feels like they got a way out.
Well, expectation. That's the thing. Florida is already, I think, thinking of.
See, look at these two eyes I'm looking at right now. You guys are intrigued by that, aren't you?
It's a great topic. It's a great topic. So that's coming up tonight.
Yep.
From 6 to 7. All right, Matt.
6 to 7:30.
6 to 7:30.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool. Talking college football. I'll be listening. I'll be locked in.
Absolutely.
Folks, that's our program. Don't go anywhere. You just heard it though. Matt's going to be talking college football 6 to 7:30. Then later on, we've got Bowles and Kenny football on both of our stations. Have a great weekend, everybody. Go Jags. I hope you're going out to the ball game on Sunday. I can't wait to get there. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're out of here. For Hays and JJ, I'm Frank Frangie. So long.